everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave. It's Jem here. For those of you who just dip in and out for the unboxing videos, I haven't been moving house in the past month and this is really like the first proper video I'm filming, so a little bit rusty, but we'll see how we get on. Today I have for you the February Upcrate. It's a bit battered, but I'm interested to see what's inside. Now that I'm a bit more settled in my new cave, and you can see my lovely new desk here, what we're going to do is every month we're going to alternate between the Upcrate and the scroller box for doing an art challenge. So this month I'm just going to do the unboxing for Upcrate today, and the Upcrate battle will be a later video. I will be doing the scroller box unboxing just shortly, but the scroller challenge will be in the same video. So that means in March we will do the Upcrate unboxing and the challenge in one video, and we'll do the scroller box unboxing and the scroller challenge as separate videos. I hope that makes sense for you, but I just like to make sure that everybody is clear where we're going with this, because I know some of you prefer them all together, some of you like them as separate videos, and it's nice to know if you're coming or going. I feel really out of practice. I haven't done any serious arting since like the middle of January, and this is now the end of February, so I'm a little bit excited but I'm a little bit scared as well. Okay, so this is the newest available subscription box on the market. It is from a company in Germany. So we've got our little envelope of bump here, which we'll take a look at, and we do have a featured artist, so let's take a look at this. Oh, this is lovely. So Fox MB Illustration is the featured artist, and that is a really cute drawing. I really like it. On the back here we have information about her. She is a she is a freelance illustrator from France and works principally with traditional tools. So there we go, that's a little bit of information, and also a link to her Instagram as well if you fancy checking that out. Now we have paper. One of the things I really like about Upcrate is they tend to give you a lot of paper. So we have got what looks remarkably like very textured watercolour paper. I think you can just see that if I tilt that in the light. And there are 3 sheets. So that's quite exciting as well. It seems to be the same texture on both sides, which is quite interesting as well. And we also have a Van Gogh leaflet. So this is obviously to do with the supplies that are in the box. So let's not ruin it for ourselves. Ooh. Right, let us have a look. First things first, we have 2 pencils. And they are Koh-i-Noor Hardmouth Polycolour pencils. I have got another one of these somewhere. Yes, I have the colourless blender that came in something else. So we've got a green, colourblind. We've got a brown colour and a blue colour pencil, which is quite nice. So we'll be testing those out in just a moment. Oh, I found another one. We have a pink one as well. Pink, blue and brown, interesting. Okay. We have a Milan Paintbrush. I have been banging on about these paintbrushes for quite some time. I really like these ones, and this is a 2-stroke 0, so it's a tiny little nib that's on it. I'll just show you that. I have the size 6 that came in a scroller box, and I've been trying to get a hold of some of these for ages. They are a Spanish brand, and I have not yet got my claws on them, but I like them because they seem to keep their point really well, and it's a nice balance of how much water they hold. You know, it's not too much, it's not too little. So I am super excited to have one of these paintbrushes, and it is very tiny, so we're going to be doing details with this. A Milan water brush, good stuff, refillable brush, and the diameter is 4mm, so I think we're just going to have to take this out and find out. Brush with refillable 8mm barrel for watercolour, blah blah blah. Synthetic brush with a liquid regulation button. How exciting. Open sesame, please. Rawr. Oh, that didn't go so well. Okay, it's got quite a big barrel on it, which is nice. It's quite a big pen. If I just grab another one to show you. These are the Zig water brushes that I normally use. So the barrel is considerably chubbier, and it's a little bit longer. It does have this fancy button on it that says push. And I'm pretty sure that's just going to be the same as squeezing the sides of the other water brushes that are available on the market. It's got quite a nice tip on it. Well, it's crispy just now, we'll have to soften that up. and you can, it'll be interesting to see how much control this gives you. It's one thing about water brushes, I'm quite picky. My first choice is the Zig water brushes and my second choice is the Pentel ones, because it is easy to control the amount of water that comes out the end of the brush. So I am very curious to see if this Milan one is any good. If it is, I'm so going to be using this all the time because water brushes are something that I do use a lot. And lastly, the Climax. I am so happy about this. I've been kind of dreading the Upcrates in case I get any more ink pens, because ink pens. But here we have the pièce de résistance. We have some Van Gogh watercolour and we have Madder Lake Light. I don't know if it's pronounced Azo or Azo Yellow Deep. I'm sure one of you guys will be able to tell me how to pronounce that because I like to know how to pronounce things. Naples Yellow Red, Turquoise Green, Lavender, Pyrrole Orange. So we've got quite an interesting selection of colours here to create. They look quite delicate when you see them on the labels like that, but I've got a choice of 6 colours. There's a fair amount of manoeuvrability for mixing there as well, so that's pretty good. I am excited, I like paint. So let's have a little look in our envelope now and just see what else is in here. Okay, we have some plastic paper clips, okay, and our little selection of stickers, which I quite like. Officially art supplies addicted. Our new art crew member who will stick to us forever, so this looks like information. Laurel Creative Clips. The Laurel clip made in Germany is the world's first ever asymmetric paper clip. Thanks to its shape, it can hold 2 sheets of paper together just as effectively as 25 sheets. Clip legs of different lengths make this possible. The long leg is optimal for a thick stack of paper, the short leg for a thin stack. Okay. So yeah, right, great, that's good. I'll maybe fart about with them later. We've got our usual little selection of stickers. We've got the one you can write on. This one is to match our postcard. I'm just a fox in a magical world. I love these. I think these are amazing because it's really nice to see how different artists sort of fiddle about with the Upcrate logo. So these are my favourites. I really like them. And the little postcards are just really cute. And this is the Upcrate battle, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. So let's read about the supplies and see what is what. Transparent paint with intense colours, highest degree of light fastness, which is good to know even when thinned a great deal. Thanks to their purity and uniform viscosity, you can easily mix and wash the colours to the finest of nuances. The full range is 72 colours, available in tubes and pans, and there's a wide selection of sets that are handy to take with you. The watercolour paper is also Van Gogh, 100% high quality cellulose, lignin free, 300 GSM paper, so that's kind of standard watercolour paper thickness. It is pH neutral and acid free, so that means it won't go yellow, so that's really good too. The water brush, okay, it doesn't tell us anything that we didn't already know about the water brush. The Milan brush is synthetic. Diameter of the bristles is 2.2 millimeters. It's so diddly. And the polycolour pencils, softwood pencils, oil-based core, excellent light fastness. Okay, the full range of Koh-i-Noor polycolours is 72 pencils. I knew that already, being a pencil person. I like at the bottom here they put PS, did you find our gimmick in your crate? Which is obviously they're referring to these paper clips. Okay, quite an interesting set of supplies. Let's see what we're getting ourselves into for the Upcrate battle. Okay, the month's battle topic is love of animals, and that is just perfect for me because I like to draw animals. This is so much fun. I can do so much with this. How exciting. What we're going to do is now we're going to have a quick test out of these materials and perhaps have a think about things that we could do for the Upcrate battle. Okay, so we'll get zoomed in a little bit for this one because that makes it much more interesting. I have used markers on this side, so hence the sort of creative marks on this side. So I want to start with the pencils real quick. I haven't used polycolour pencils extensively. I have had a shot at them before. The pigment laydown in them is lovely. That is a very light pressure and texture paper. So you can see that the colour is quite rich and it goes down really evenly as well. So they are, a lot of people swear by these pencils. I just don't own them because I've got enough pencils. There's a couple of layers. They do layer up quite well as well. and you do not have to press hard at all. That's quite a nice shade of blue, I like that. This pink I'm not so sure about. I don't know how much actual colouring you would want to do on the watercolour paper because it is very, very textured. It may be more for adding detail rather than anything else, or that's my thinking anyway going into this. So now what happens if I press really hard? This is layering like a boss. Look how rich I can get that pink from what appears to be quite a delicate colour. Let's go with the blue as well. Again, I'm not pressing hard, I'm just putting a lot of layers down to see. That's pretty intense. I really like this brown colour as well. There's no colour names on these pencils, it's just a number. This one is 64, 54 and the pink is 352. So for those of you, if you like pencil colour names like me, that's a bit of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to die. Okay, so I am quite impressed with those pencils. I quite like them. I don't know if any of you find filling these up fiddly or if you have any motor function problems with your hands like me, but I find that using a pipette's a really good way to do this. And you can buy these are just disposable pipettes, you can get them online because you can stick the nozzle right inside your water brush and then just give it a squeeze, and you know, you're minimising the mess situation. Now I was quite curious about the boast about the 8mm barrel, and this pipette is a 5mm pipette, and I don't know how well you can see that, but the water line's there, so that seems fairly accurate to me for those of you that are a bit more geeky and like that kind of thing. Or is it just me? In the interests of a fair trial, I am going to test the water brush with a known medium to me, which is Derwent Inktense Pans. These are just handy before I do it with these paints, because I would like to test them out with a medium that I am familiar with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to squeeze this barrel. Oh, that is very responsive. That is literally like putting out a drip of water. Now that's quite free and the water flow seems quite fast, but I want to see how consistently it spits out water. And that is fairly consistent. Another really good way to test this out is to do this on the back of your hand. And I picked this up as a habit and I didn't actually know where I'd got it from. And I realised it was from watching Peter Hewitt's videos because she does it. And that is really steady. That is incredibly, incredibly consistent. And I am not having to do anything. So I reckon like 1 or 2 squeezes when you're ready to start and you will be good to go. Okay, I'm just using an old plate. I tend to prefer this for tube watercolours, I don't know why, rather than, you know, a traditional palette that's got ducats in it. And we're going to test out some of these colours. I'm most excited about this turquoise colour. Now generally with tube paints, they are very concentrated and you literally need the tiniest little splodge. Oh, this is all oozing out everywhere. I haven't actually squeezed these. Let me go with the sort of mandatory. It seems to be that every time we get watercolour paints in these subscription boxes now, there's always like a token pale flesh tone, which I find rather interesting. Red. And then we've got this lavender colour as well. It's quite an interesting palette, I have to say. We want to take a look. I want to take a look at the neat colours just to see what they look like. So I've got my little dinky brush here and I'm just going to start at this end. Obviously when it is neat like this, there's not a lot of mobility in the paint because it's meant to be mixed with water. I did want to test out how much precision we can get with this little brush, and using the paint in its neat form is a really good way to do that. Look at the width of that line, that is like, you almost can't see that. The paintbrush is excellent. The bristles seem to be quite tightly packed, so it's you know you've got quite a firm grasp of your actual strokes, which I think is really essential in a small brush like this and what is a detail brush. That might just be me, it might just be my preference. If you're a much more sort of flowy, expressive painter, you might not feel the same way. But I'm certainly very happy with this, and the colours are really, really vibrant. Look how much they're popping off the page, and all I'm doing is this like sliver thin line. You could get quite a nice gradient going on with this. I'm just looking at the red and the orange and the yellow. So if you were thinking maybe like maybe some kind of like tropical bird or something, that might be really nice. Right, okay, so let's see what happens now if I put some water down. Now that's still flowing out. I think I would like a little bit more. Pressed it once and that's given us quite a generous splodge of water. Now if I lift some of this paint on this wee brush and just pop it in there, and let's see how much it spreads. That's lovely. Okay, this is spectacularly good. So it does dissolve really well. It is very soluble, which you would expect from watercolour, but not all watercolours are made equal. So let's move down, and we'll do this with the other colours as well so that you can see them a bit more clearly. Okay, yeah, the pressing of the button on the water brush, it really doesn't take much. It does not require much at all. Ooh. And again, that was just like a tiny flick of paint on the end of this tiny brush. So I did not use a lot of the paint out of the tube, and it's just like gone. I say it's a flesh tone, it's more like I suppose it is, it's a pale flesh tone. I really like this yellow shade as well, it's very cheery. I have a t-shirt this colour. There you go. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it's behaving. There's no surprises there, and it is behaving the way I would expect a good quality watercolour to behave. In my limited knowledge, I hasten to add. I'm by no means an expert, but I've tried quite a few paints now, so I can tell the real stinkers from the half decent ones at least. These colours are so vibrant, so vibrant, so we're definitely going to go for a cheery picture here. Now that's interesting. Well, okay, even like a moderate squeeze and the water goes like dripping out, so I would be cautious with that. But it's not, I have seen some brushes that have just flooded, you know, when you've squeezed the side of them. Oh, look at that lavender colour, oh yes. Okay, so thinking about a bit more about the Upcrate battle, that is a very broad subject. Love of animals, you go to town. I know there has been a lot of watercolour paintings of koalas and things recently in the wake of the massive bushfires in Australia, and I think a lot of people may have already painted something like that would fit in really well. Given the colour palette that we have, I am thinking like an exotic bird or just a very colourful animal of any description would be quite nice. I certainly think as well, with the addition of these pencils, particularly this one, yeah, particularly this brown colour, I'll probably utilise that more than most. So lots of options in terms of the Upcrate battle, and as I say, I will be tackling that in a week or so's time, so you can stay tuned for that if you would like to see what I'm going to do with these art supplies. A bit of curiosity, I'm going to try and mix some of these with this water brush. Just see what happens. They mix well. Okay, just checking, you know. Okay, the last thing I want to test is how it behaves on the actual watercolour paper that we've been given. So again, I'm just going to have a quick go with these pencils, and these pencils feel horrible on this paper. Oh my goodness. This, obviously watercolour paper that's as textured as this, and I'm going to just hold this up, hopefully you'll be able to see it, is not really ideal for coloured pencil. But as I say, maybe for detail work that would be quite nice, but this is just, for me this is a no. Like, I like texture, which is why I like to work with pencils, but this is a bit extreme for my liking. So yeah, definitely for detail work, probably won't be colouring in large sections with those, but still. So let's have a little bash with our water brush and whatnot here. It's always nice to have the extra paper so that you can see how the supplies are actually going to behave when it comes to using them. Okay, this button idea is just, it's a bit gimmicky if I'm honest. It's just the same as pressing the sides of a normal water brush, so I wouldn't get overly excited about that either. Now interestingly, my turquoise paint has dried already. Okay, the paint isn't particularly mobile in the water because obviously I've wet that first. I was expecting that to go a little bit further. So the paper is sucking up the water pretty quickly. The very fact that that's not moving about a huge amount, that's not a bad thing. Here's some of my diluted paint, and that's taken fine lines considering how textured this paper is. I'm able to work with quite a dry brush here, and it's still going over the, you know, the texture of the paper okay, so that's really nice as well. So that's neat paint that I've lifted, but I've lifted it with the water brush. And there you go, that's you're much more mobile with that, so that's good. To be honest, when I'm using these kind of paints, I wouldn't really use a water brush. I would prefer just to use a bigger paintbrush and a pot of water. I suppose if you were on the go, then it might be a bit better, but again, I probably wouldn't be using tube watercolours if I was on the go. I would take a travel palette with me. Whether that's one you've made up yourself or one that you buy is another matter entirely. I actually quite like this paper. I was worried it was going to be like too textured even for me, but I think we're going to be okay. Again, I just want you to see the colours. The paint does behave very well on this paper, I have to say. It does seem to be drying quite quickly on this plate though. Yes, it's starting to like form like a hard shell over it already, so that's not great. Okay, and there you go. This is a pretty nice box. I'm quite happy with this box. I always like to get paint in a subscription box because we see a lot of markers and pens and so on and so forth. The last thing is this leaflet about Van Gogh, which I just wanted to take a quick look at, and I thought this was what it would be. This is the full colour chart for the watercolours that are in the box. You can see what other shades it comes in. Okay, so just a quick recap on this Upcrate then. We've got our Van Gogh colour selection, 3 sheets of Van Gogh 300 GSM watercolour paper, which is actually very nice indeed. We have our list of supplies and additional information. Our featured artist, or co-captain as they call them with Upcrate, which is Fox MB. And then the postcard and the matching sticker as well as our usual selection of little stickers that come in the Upcrate. And we also have these rather interesting paper clips, which if you're into stationery then knock yourself out. Okay, so we've also got this teeny weeny Milan Paintbrush, which I love. We've got the 3 Kohinoor Polycolour pencils in pink, a kind of sienna-y colour if you want to call it that, and blue. We have this Milan water brush with an 8mm barrel, so it holds plenty of water, and to be fair, the flow is quite controllable. And last and certainly not least, we have this set of Van Gogh tube watercolours in 6 rather attractive shades, and not forgetting the Upcrate battle, which this month is Love of Animals. That is your February Upcrate. I want to thank you very much for watching, and keep your eyes peeled in the next week or so when I will be putting up the video for the Upcrate battle. Thanks very much for watching everyone, and have a good day. Bye for now.